everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Chronicles of Vaping. Today we got a bit of a different show for you. We're going to touch base on a few different mods. Homemade, go out and buy the parts, put them together in your basement kind of stuff. So today we're talking about a couple different mods. Two of which I personally have made, and the other one I've got from another forum member on the ECF. So I'll touch base on that when we get there. But we're going to be reviewing the Altoids mod, which a lot of new modders make just because it's a box. It's easy to make. It's easy to drill holes in. It's got the door that opens and closes. Super easy. You can access the internals. And then we're going to get into a little bit more complicated stuff like the RC car remote mod. Like I said, this is not mine. Another forum member made this. It's called the Silver. It's made by a guy by the name of Straight Vaping, I believe. And he made this out of an old school TV remote. I mean, the buttons were here. It's got a hole for the voltage readout, things like that. So we're gonna start with the Altoids mod. Like I said, this is kind of a special mod to me. I slapped this one together before Vape Bash 2012, and I had Nick and Amber sign it for me. So it means a lot more. I'm probably gonna retire it, just because in a way they're my idols for vaping. They're a huge staple in the vaping community. So this mod here is using an OKR T6. It's a 6 amp switching regulator or linear regulator switch. It's a very good chip. You get them from Texas Instruments, or I believe Mauser sells them. It's a good chip to start with. It's easy to wire up. It's rated to 6 amps, so whatever you're going to throw at it, it's going to take with no problems. And on the inside, I've got two 14500s, my chip, and then I've got the voltage readout here, and with the digital or the single turn potentiometer. So we'll give this one a quick vape, and then we'll move on to the next one, I guess. Oh, and it's dry as hell, too. Yikes. Throw a little bit of Elite Vaporworks Red Cow on here. Do a little shout out to those guys. They make some great juice. If you got the opportunity to pick some up, by all means, go for it.
And they have free shipping, which is a nice thing.
Vape's good. So on to the next one here. I built this not too long ago. It's made out of a watch box, I believe, from Burger King. Back when I was a kid, they used to sell these watches, SpongeBob watches. And I don't know if you noticed, but it's got two buttons on it. And it's also got two atomizer connections, two 510 connections on top. Catch cups, main power on-off switch. And it's only running at 3.7 volts with two 18650s. And I mainly built this mod for testing two different juices at the same time. I'm not going to screw two atomizers onto it just because I don't feel like it, but you put two different atomizers in there with two different juices, and you can vape them both at the same time by pressing both buttons. So that way you're not wasting your juice. You're not, like I said, you're not throwing two juices into the same bottle and then figuring out that you don't like the flavor and wasting it. I mean, I've done that countless amounts of times just to find out that I don't like it. So this way you can put two atomizers on here, two different juices, one in each one. Fire them separately, fire them together, whatever you want to do. It's kind of outrageous. You can't put it in your pocket and walk around. I guess you could, but it's one of those things that's kind of just at home to mess around with and test different stuff. So the next one we got, I'm gonna let him take over and talk about the new RC car mod that we threw together.
All right. Well, this one's a little out there. I'm pretty sure it has the same internals as the Altoids.
It is the OKRT6 6-amp switch.
It has two 14500s. I'm sure we could have threw like 18650s or 18490s or really any type of battery besides the 26650. But we put the firing switch on the trigger. Just put a tactile switch on there, so when you push it, it fires. It's got the voltage readout on the front. The potentiometer, it's got a single turn.
Yeah, single turn potentiometer
Mounted to one of the tuning.
The trim
Yeah,
switches, I believe.
it's the steering trim that we have it on.
Just your standard 510 extended connection, so you can throw a chip shield on there if you wanted to, or even putting a gooseneck on it kind of gives it that RC car look. It looks like the antenna. It's kind of funky, kind of unique. Something that you would bring to a vape meet and show people. You bring that out in public and you're trying to stand out in a big way with that. But then again, if you set it down, somewhere in your room and somebody sees it, they're not gonna think it's an e-cig. There's no way.
Yeah, they'll be like, "What is that?" Like, "Oh, it's just an e-cig."
Yeah, it's pretty standard. Didn't take too long to make. I tried to record the whole thing to make a video about how I make my mods and all that. But someday maybe I'll put it on YouTube. But I just don't have the time to sit there and wait for it to load and all that junk. So the next one we're going to review here is, like I said, this is a mod a fellow forum member made for me. It's a PTR 8100 switch, I think. Also variable voltage, single turn pot. Two 14500s in the back here. And it's also got a single slot in the middle for 6 ml bottle of juice if you want to put it in there for when you're out and about. It's got the LEDs in the front here, the louvers, if you will, and then your tinted LCD readout back here. And right now I'm 4.6 volts on a low res. I mean, it's vapes like a champ. But as far as modding is concerned, if you want to start modding or if you're interested in it, I would suggest doing your research. Go on ECF, go on Vapors Forum, things like that, and do your research, because there's a lot of things that can go wrong and that will go wrong if you don't know what you're doing. I mean, there's everything from battery failure to shorting out, burning up atomizers, cartomizers, things like that, and you just don't want to get into that because then it gets expensive and it gets dangerous. So do your research, and then go have fun. Find a box or find something that suits your needs. I mean, you can build them out of anything. There was people at Vape Bash with Halo helmet hookah mods and all types of crazy stuff. I mean, we made one out of an RC car remote control. So the possibilities are endless with making your own mods. You just got to find out what suits your best needs and what voltage you want to be at, because you can make standard 3.7 volt, you can make variable voltage 5 volt, all types of things, and it's just endless possibilities. And another thing with making mods, I mean, that's how the vaping community evolves in a way. the Darwin, the Darwin, the Silver Bullet, the Provari, anything like that. It's somebody who sat down and got an idea in their head and decided, well, I'm going to make this, and now they're selling them, like crazy, and they're making who knows how much money off of them, just from that split-second idea that they had. So, if you want to get into modding, like I said, at first do your research, and then go to it. I mean, get yourself a decent soldering iron and favorite tunes, and go for it. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It takes up some time, but it's like a hobby. And then after a while, it's like second nature. So, I mean, that's all I've got to say. I mean, unless you have something else to add, then we can wrap this one up.
I don't have anything to add to this.
You got nothing. All right.
Nothing.
Well, thanks again for watching. This has been another episode of the Chronicles of Vaping. Stay tuned for the next episode.
But I'd like to say something right here.
All right, we're not done yet.
I'd really like if you guys commented on the videos, gave us ideas of what we should do, like or dislike the video, tell us what we're doing wrong. If we're doing anything wrong, tell us what we're doing right so we can focus on those.
That's true.
If you can, subscribe to the channel. It helps out a lot. That's all I got to say about that.
I suppose, yeah, feedback is a really big thing with us. Also, if like he's saying, if you have any specific juices or mods or atomizers, cartomizers, tanks, anything like that, I mean, anything with e-cigarettes, it's basically fair game for us. So if you've got an idea, or if you've got questions or anything like that, shoot us an email, or contact us on YouTube, write a comment, and let us know what you think we should do next. That's all we've got for you this time. I appreciate you watching us. Stay tuned for the next one. Thanks.
Yeah.